Hello, now we have come to the sample story for today's conversation. There are three pictures and a question mark, but I have actually divided the story into 5 paragraphs. In the first paragraph, we have the introduction. That is before the children actually went to the hawker center. In the second paragraph, we have the problem, which actually takes place at the hawker center itself. That is the children eating the dirty food at the hawker center. And then in the third paragraph, we have the climax. There is actually when the boy, we should give them a name actually. Let's call the boy Benny. Okay, so in the third paragraph, we have got the climax. That is when Benny actually exhibits the symptoms of food poisoning, but he even threw up. And then in paragraph 4 is a resolution, that means solving the problem. And in today's story, the problem is solved by a trip to the clinic. And then in the last paragraph, we would have the conclusion. There is Benny's feelings. Okay, so then let's go to the start of the story. We will start by describing the weather, that means describing setting actually. It was a blazingly hot day. Benny and his sister Chloe, let's call her Chloe. Benny and his sister Chloe were trudging home after school. Okay, trudging means to walk tiredly. So in this case, the children were walking tiredly, maybe because they were tired after a long day at school, or it could even be because of the hot weather. Because of the scorching weather, they decided to go to the nearby hawker center for an icy snack to cool down. When they reached the hawker center, Chloe went to buy the ice kacang while Benny looked for a table. However, most of the tables were taken and Benny only managed to find one with soiled crockery still on the table, or still on it. Since we actually mentioned table in front already, we can replace it with it just as we replace it with one, okay? And soiled actually means dirty, it's not clean, and the crockery is actually a collective term for plates, dishes, and bowls. And in this case, if you look at the pictures, in the first picture, you will see that there are some dirty bowls and plates on the same table that Chloe and Benny were eating at. Soon, Chloe arrived with the cold treats. Obviously here, cold treats will be referring to ice kacang. The children wolfed down the tasty dessert in spite of the unhygienic conditions. Unhygienic means dirty, another word for dirty, and in this case, we are referring to the state of the table where there were all this soiled crockery on it. A few hours after they reached home, Benny started to have a stomach ache and he felt nauseous. To feel nauseous is to feel like throwing up. His limbs were cold and he was shivering non-stop. Limbs here will be referring to your legs and your arms. Soon he even vomited. Chloe was worried and quickly informed their mother. When their mother saw how sick Benny was, she quickly rushed him to the clinic. At the clinic, the doctor examined poor Benny. After studying Benny's symptoms, he concluded that Benny was suffering from food poisoning because he must have eaten some contaminated food. So yes, this will be one sentence. Contaminated means dirty. He prescribed some medicine for Benny. Then he advised Benny to rest at home for a couple of days. The medicine tasted horrible. Benny felt awful. He had learned his lesson after this incident. He vowed to avoid unhygienic hawker centers in the future.